Hey guys, it's Megan here. I'm a high school librarian. Welcome back to the library. School has started, so we're back here. Today I want to tell you some books I've read recently that I read over the summer and some books I want to read in September, which a couple of them are sequels to the ones that I read over the summer. So I've had very little time to read, so it's not great. So the first book I read over the summer was for school, but it turns out it's the best young adult fantasy novel I have ever read in my entire life, and it is Ray Bear by Jordan Efueko. People say that the world building in this book is amazing, and they are right. That is what makes this book stand out. I'd almost say, not that there's too much world building, but maybe it's to the point that I don't even care too much about the characters, I guess. I care about the main character, but literally no one else. So this is, if you like plot and world building, this book is for you. So it is like I said, it's a young adult fantasy about a girl, and I don't even want to tell you, honestly, no, I don't even want to tell you this. This isn't really what it's about. If you read this summary right here, this happens in the first part of the book, part 1. So I even made a note because I did annotate this book as I read, because like I said, I needed to read it for school to lead a book discussion. So literally at the end of part 1, I said, wow, I have no earthly idea where this is going now, which could be disappointing, but also very exciting. So page 92 is literally the summary right here. At one point it turns into a jungle adventure novel. There's demons from the underworld, and you're like, wait, what? This is not what I thought this book was. So this is amazing, and everybody ever should read this. The other amazing book that I read over the summer was The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I do want to read his new book. I think it's called Under a Whispering Door or something like that. Anyway, I think this is his first. No, maybe not. No, he wrote The Extraordinaries as well. I think that's a young adult novel. This one's adult, but it can be young adult, so that's why I purchased it for our school library. But this book is fantasy, kind of magical realism. It was compared on the back to 1984 meets The Umbrella Academy with a pinch of Douglas Adams thrown in. To me, I also got some Harry Potter vibes, because it's sort of a magical school kind of, and there's a department that's sort of the department, the Ministry of Magic. So but it's really, people always say it's the found family sort of trope and everything, but I didn't think that's what stood out to me. What stood out to me was just the people themselves, the characters. There's a really interesting sort of plot device. I can't say what it is. One of the characters has a really interesting power that's just, it adds a lot of humor to the novel. It had twists and turns that I did not expect. There's even sort of some mystery to it. So definitely highly recommend, 5 stars. I would read this again. I would recommend it to everybody. The next book that I've mostly read anyway recently is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. It's the third and final book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. I'd read the first two back to back. The first one, of course, Darker Shade of Magic, we all know I loved so much, and we all know that book 2 is the worst thing ever. Not really the worst thing ever, but oh my gosh, it didn't even need to exist. Book 3, I'm just kind of meh, some things are happening, a little bit more plot. I didn't like the first part, I'm not gonna lie, but now that there's a point to it, they kind of have a task they have to do now and a goal, and I like that. I felt there were no stakes in book 2. There was no even goal. I'm what are they even doing? They're just running around, nothing is even happening. There's no conflict. It was really strange. But now at least something is happening, and I'm almost finished. I'm listening to the audiobook of this one, and I honestly just kind of stopped because I was bored, but now I really do need to get it done. I'm also over halfway through Sinless of Sins by Josiah Bancroft, or Bancroft, whatever. I'm on page 217 out of 394, 389, something like that. And anyway, doesn't really have much smell. This is, of course, a fantasy series for adults, and this is the first one. I purchased the second one as well because I do plan on continuing the series. I know the fourth and final book is coming out soon, November or something. So I want to have all these read if possible. This is priority number 1, is to read these books and get them done before the sequel or before the final book comes out. Oh, I didn't tell you anything what it's about. It's about a man who goes to this not mythical, it's sort of this legendary tower called the Tower of Babel. And this place is crazy. It's huge. Nobody even knows how many stories it is. Each floor is different. There's the basement, the parlor, the baths, New Babel, and so on and so forth. I don't even have the map of the other ones yet because they're in the other books. And he loses his wife as soon as he gets there, literally page 10. And the action just starts right away, and he has to find his wife, who jokingly says said, well, if we get separated, I'll meet you at the top of the tower. So I'm pretty sure he's got to climb to the top of the tower, but he's a very straightforward, by the book sort of man. He's never been very adventurous, and I have a feeling that is about to change, and he is going to have lots and lots of character development. Final thing I've read recently is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. I'm not very far, I'm not gonna lie. I put it down so that I could start Cerulean Sins. I mean, I'm still intrigued. I think it'll get better. I think I will come to like the characters a little bit more. I know it's a very character-driven fantasy novel, very grim dark, as people like to say, and I guess I wasn't really in the mood for that because school is starting back. You know, I have the baby at home. I guess I just didn't want to read grim dark fantasy at the moment. But Cerulean Sins, I mean, it's a little darker than I expected too. But I will continue this, I promise. So in addition to continuing the books I just mentioned, let's talk about September. I'm definitely going to hopefully finish those books, or at least Cerulean Sins. I really want to get to Redemptor, which is the sequel to Raybearer. It's just a duology, so I don't have to worry about reading any more books. It's shorter than Raybearer, and fingers crossed it's just as good. It just came out. I literally got it the day it came out. I've not even opened it yet. I've not read the inside cover. I don't know if I even want to. I know what's going to happen in it. I can't tell you because it would spoil book one, but they've set up really for what's going to happen in it in book one. So fingers crossed that this one is just as good as the first one. Now, if I finish the first Cerulean Sins book, the first Books of Babel novel, then I did purchase book 2. It came from Amazon, and it's like bent, and I don't like it. I'm not happy. But anyway, it's Arm of the Sphinx. I'm intrigued because this looks like a mechanical arm or something on the front, and I'm like, does he lose an arm in book 1? Like, what happens? Why does he have a mechanical arm? There are some steampunk elements to the novel, so I'm like, it looks gearish, you know, I see gears, and I don't know. I'm gonna find out, I guess, but I hopefully will get a chance to get around to this one as well. And then finally, if I get a chance, we'll see. This is one that was on my radar, and I got it in the school library recently. It's The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. And I know that it looks like a realistic fiction novel on the front or something, but it's actually like a sci-fi dystopian adventure kind of novel. Like, it says it's set in a climate-raged future. It's the love between two sisters is the only hope for humanity's future. It's sci-fi at its best with floating cities, kindness, and desert islands. I don't think of kindness when I think of sci-fi, but okay. Then I know it's supposed to be kind of like the two sisters get separated or something, and they have to try to find each other. Yeah, and that's really all I know about it. So it's supposedly really good. Every review I've heard is positive, so I will give this a chance if I can. Oh, there's chocolate on it already. Oops. So I can recommend this to kids in the library once I've read it and know kind of who to recommend it to. So, okay. Those are some books I want to read in September. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed. I will talk to you guys again later. Bye.